Welcome back to Coins Hunter USA, the place where history meets hidden treasure. If you've ever wondered whether the change in your pocket could be worth a fortune, you're in the right spot. Today, we're uncovering the secrets of one of America's most fascinating coins, the Jefferson nickel. From its iconic design to the rare errors and valuable varieties that collectors dream about, this little coin might just surprise you with how much it's worth. So, coin lovers, get ready, because by the end of this video, you might look at your nickels in a whole new way. Top 1. Today's video is just for you. Because we're taking a closer look at one of the most fascinating coins from the Jefferson nickel series, the United States of America Jefferson nickel, minted in 1984. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a 5-cent coin, how special could it really be? But that's exactly the beauty of coin collecting. What looks ordinary to most people can be extraordinary to those who know what to look for. The 1984 Jefferson nickel is the perfect example of this. Some versions of this coin are worth far more than 5 cents. And the reasons why make this story even more exciting. Let's start with a little background. The Jefferson nickel series has been around since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. By 1984, millions of Jefferson nickels were being minted each year. They were everywhere, in grocery stores, in cash registers, in soda machines. But out of those millions, a tiny fraction turned out to be special. So, what makes some of these coins rare and valuable? One of the biggest reasons is minting errors. When a coin is struck incorrectly, collectors get excited, because error coins are unique, and uniqueness drives up value. With the 1984 Jefferson nickel, collectors have identified several errors worth hunting for. One of the most famous is the double die obverse. This is where Jefferson's portrait or inscriptions, like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," appear doubled. To the naked eye, it looks almost like a ghost image, and the stronger the doubling, the more valuable the coin. Another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike, where the design isn't properly centered on the coin. In some cases, the date might be partially missing, or part of Monticello could be cut off. These quirky mistakes can make a coin extremely desirable. Then there's the matter of condition. Most nickels from 1984 went straight into circulation and picked up scratches, dings, and wear from years of handling. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition, with sharp detail and no damage, is a challenge. That's why mint state coins or those with the coveted, full steps detail on Monticello are especially valuable. The full steps grading refers to the clear, sharp lines on the steps of Jefferson's Monticello home. Coins with crisp, fully defined steps are incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. Think about it, out of the millions of coins struck in 1984, how many survived decades without scratches? How many still shine as if they just left the mint? And how many of those also happen to carry a rare error? The answer is, very few. And that's where the value comes in. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Every time you check your change, you're not just looking at small pieces of metal. You're holding history. You're holding potential treasures that connect the past to the present. And with the 1984 Jefferson nickel, the treasure is real, because certain examples of this coin have reached astonishing values at auctions. Now here's the part that gets every collector's heart racing. Imagine holding a Jefferson nickel that looks ordinary to everyone else, but you know it's different. You know it has that rare error, or it's in such flawless condition that collectors are fighting to add it to their collection. That's when a coin worth 5 cents becomes a coin worth life-changing money. So, how much are we talking about here? Well, brace yourself. Because one of the rarest and most valuable 1984 Jefferson nickels has been valued at an incredible $127,000. That's right, from just 5 cents to $127,000. This is why it's so important to always check your change and pay attention to details. That coin you might be tempted to spend on a candy bar could instead be worth enough to buy a car, a home, or even change your life. Top 2. We're going to dive deep into a coin that many people see as just another piece of pocket change, but collectors know it holds secrets that can turn ordinary nickels into extraordinary treasures. Yes, I'm talking about the United States of America Jefferson nickel from the year 1985. At first glance, the 1985 Jefferson nickel doesn't stand out much. It features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic Monticello home on the reverse, designed decades earlier by Felix Schlag. By 1985, this design had already been around for nearly half a century, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Millions of these coins rolled off the presses, filling pockets, vending machines, and cash registers all across America. But as collectors know, not all coins are created equal. What makes certain 1985 Jefferson nickels rare and highly valuable comes down to a fascinating mix of errors, condition, and striking quality. Let's talk about some of these. One of the standout rarities from this year is the double die obverse error. When this happens, the design elements on the coin, such as Jefferson's portrait, the date, or the phrase, "In God We Trust," appear doubled. These errors are strikingly visible under magnification and are like fingerprints of the minting process gone wrong. Collectors love them because no two are exactly alike, making each piece unique. Another error that can make a 1985 Jefferson nickel worth a small fortune is the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where part of Jefferson's head or part of Monticello is cut off because the coin blank wasn't aligned properly during striking. The more dramatic the off-center, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still visible, which proves its authenticity and rarity. Then there are the famous die cracks and cuts. These are caused when a minting die becomes damaged or worn out, leaving raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface. Far from being flaws that ruin value, these quirks often make coins even more collectible, because they represent a piece of minting history captured forever in metal. And let's not forget about condition. By the mid-1980s, most nickels were heavily used, bouncing from pocket to pocket, getting scratched, worn, and dinged. Finding a 1985 Jefferson nickel in mint state condition is already tough. But finding one with the special designation of full steps on Monticello is even harder. Those steps must be sharply struck and fully visible without wear, and when they are, collectors go absolutely wild for them. Think of it this way: millions of nickels were made in 1985, but how many survived decades without scratches or wear? How many left the mint with unusual errors? And how many of those are still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone checking their change? That's what makes this hobby so thrilling. You never know what you might find until you look closely. Now, here's where things get really exciting. While most 1985 Jefferson nickels are only worth face value, the rare ones, with errors, in high grade, or with full steps, can bring in jaw-dropping sums at auction. And one particular coin has stunned collectors with its incredible value. Are you ready for it? One of the rarest and most valuable Jefferson nickels from 1985 has been valued at an astonishing $125,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that was originally worth just 5 cents is now valued at $125,000. This is why coin collecting is so magical. Every coin in your pocket could be hiding a story, a mistake, or a detail that transforms it from ordinary to priceless. So the next time you come across a Jefferson nickel, especially from 1985, take a closer look. You never know if you're holding a treasure. Top 3. We are diving deep into a coin that seems ordinary at first but hides an incredible story of value, rarity, and collector's passion. The United States of America Jefferson nickel from the year 1986. Now, when most people think about nickels, they probably imagine a simple 5-cent piece, maybe one that jingles in their pocket or rolls around at the bottom of a drawer. But collectors know better. Every year of mintage holds surprises, and the 1986 Jefferson nickel is no exception. This coin is part of a series that began back in 1938, honoring Thomas Jefferson on the front and featuring Monticello, his Virginia home, on the back. By 1986, millions of these coins had been struck at U.S. mints, and they were used across the country for everyday purchases. But here's the secret: not every 1986 nickel is created equal. Let's talk about why this particular year stands out. The first key to rarity is the strike quality. Jefferson nickels are famous for their reverse design, the beautiful image of Monticello. But did you know that most coins don't show all the details? The steps leading up to Monticello are often blurred or incomplete. Collectors chase coins with full steps, meaning every line is sharp and perfectly visible. A 1986 nickel with this rare feature immediately jumps in value because it proves that the coin was struck with unusual precision, but it doesn't end there. Mint errors are another reason the 1986 nickel is so exciting. Some coins show doubled dies, where the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or even the date look doubled under magnification. These errors happened when dies shifted during production, and while they were mistakes to the mint, they're treasures to collectors. Other examples include off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, or die cracks that create unusual lines on the coin's surface. These rare mistakes make each coin unique and, in some cases, incredibly valuable. Now, let's move to condition. Coins are graded on their state of preservation, from worn-out circulated pieces to brilliant mint state examples that look as if they just left the mint yesterday. The higher the grade, the higher the value. A 1986 nickel that has been kept in pristine condition, without scratches, tarnish, or wear, can be worth dramatically more than one that's been passed around in change for decades. That's why collectors spend hours searching coin rolls, estate sales, and auctions, always hoping to find that one perfect gem. And here's something that really captures the imagination. Think about how many 1986 nickels were used by people in everyday life. Someone might have used it to buy a soda at a vending machine, drop it into a payphone, or even slip it into an arcade machine during the 1980s. Those very same coins that once had such simple uses could now be worth thousands of dollars if preserved in the right condition or struck with an unusual error. It's a powerful reminder that history, rarity, and chance are all wrapped up in every coin. The Jefferson nickel series also carries a lot of history and sentimental value for collectors. Introduced in the late 1930s, it replaced the Buffalo nickel and has now become one of the most iconic designs in American coinage. Collectors love building complete sets of nickels year by year, and certain dates like the 1986 issue become special highlights when they have the right features. For those who treasure history, owning a rare 1986 nickel is like holding a piece of America's story in the palm of your hand. Auction houses and coin shows have proven just how much demand exists for these rare finds. Time and again, when a perfect condition 1986 nickel with full steps or dramatic errors appears on the market, the bidding gets fierce. Collectors compete passionately, knowing how rare it is to see one of these coins in such condition. And the final prices often leave newcomers stunned at how valuable a simple 5-cent coin can become. So let's answer the big question: just how much can a rare 1986 Jefferson nickel be worth today? Well, while many examples are worth only face value, the truly exceptional ones, the coins with mint errors, full steps, or perfect preservation, have shocked the collecting world with their price. In fact, some of the finest 1986 Jefferson nickels ever discovered have sold for an incredible $122,000. Yes, you heard that right, a coin minted for just 5 cents could be worth over $120,000 today. That's the magic of coin collecting. What seems small and ordinary can turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. So, coin lovers, the next time you come across a Jefferson nickel dated 1986, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look at those details. Examine Monticello's steps, check for doubling, and pay attention to condition. Who knows? You could be holding a rare gem that collectors dream about, and that could change your fortune in an instant. Top 4. We are diving deep into one of the most intriguing modern coins of the United States, the Jefferson nickel from the year 1987. At first glance, this coin looks like just another nickel. It's small, silver-colored, and features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello, his home, on the reverse. Millions of them were struck at both the Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark, and at the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark. These nickels circulated across the country, passing through countless hands during the late 1980s. But here's the twist: while most of them are still worth just 5 cents today, a small number of rare examples can fetch prices that will leave you stunned. So, what makes a 1987 Jefferson nickel rare and valuable? The answer lies in its condition, its errors, and its unique features. Let's start with condition. When a coin is freshly minted, it's sharp, shiny, and full of detail. Over time, as it circulates, those details fade, the luster dulls, scratches appear, and the steps of Monticello wear down. Collectors chase after coins in the highest grades, known as mint state or even proof-like quality. The rarer the condition, the higher the value. If you find a 1987 nickel that looks like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday, don't ignore it. It could be worth far more than pocket change, but condition isn't everything. The real treasures of 1987 are found in coins with errors and varieties. For example, have you ever heard of a double die? Imagine looking closely at the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," and seeing a faint doubling effect. It almost looks like the letters were stamped twice. That's a minting error that happened when the die itself wasn't aligned correctly. Collectors go crazy for double dies, and they pay huge premiums for them. Another highly collectible feature is the full steps designation on Monticello. Most Jefferson nickels don't have fully visible steps on the building staircase, because the strike wasn't strong enough. But if you find one with every step clearly visible, that's a jackpot coin. These full steps nickels are much scarcer than ordinary examples, and in high grades, they can be worth thousands. And then, of course, there are dramatic minting errors. Off-center strikes are among the most exciting, where the design is shifted, and part of the coin's surface is left blank. There are also broad strikes, where the coin spreads out because the collar that normally contains it failed. And let's not forget clipped planchets, where part of the coin is literally missing due to a cutting mistake at the mint. Every single one of these errors is unique, making each coin a one-of-a-kind collectible. Now, let's pause and think about the time when this coin was minted. The year was 1987, the Cold War was still going on, the U.S. economy was shifting, and Jefferson nickels were quietly circulating in everyday commerce. While most people never gave them a second thought, a few special coins managed to survive untouched, uncirculated, and in pristine condition. These survivors are the ones collectors hunt for today. Let me ask you, have you ever taken a close look at your pocket change? Have you ever spotted a nickel that just looked different, shinier, or somehow more special than the rest? If so, don't ignore that instinct. Grab a magnifying glass and start looking. Because hidden treasures are often overlooked simply because people don't know what to look for, and here's the exciting part: while most nickels from 1987 are only worth face value, a rare few can command eye-popping prices at auction. We're not just talking about a few dollars, or even a few hundred. The highest valued 1987 Jefferson nickels, with pristine quality, full steps, and stunning errors, have sold for an incredible $118,000. Yes, that's right. A coin worth 5 cents when it left the mint has turned into a collectible worth $118,000. Just imagine finding that in your pocket change or tucked away in a forgotten coin jar at home. This is the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery, the history in your hands, and the chance that something ordinary could turn out to be extraordinary. That's why collectors and treasure hunters like us keep searching. Because you never know what could be waiting for you in the very next handful of change. So, before you spend that nickel, take a moment to check it carefully. Look at the date, check the steps on Monticello, inspect for errors, and don't dismiss a coin just because it looks ordinary. Because one day, you might discover that you're holding a small piece of history that could change your life. And remember, here at Coins Hunter USA, we love sharing these incredible stories with you. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning about the hidden treasures in US coinage, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Together, we'll keep uncovering the mysteries and values of America's coins, one nickel, one penny, and one quarter at a time.